recording.
So welcome everybody. We have the lovely Chandana Bawa, who's going to be visiting us once again. She did so a few years ago and had her classes over here. She is a facilitator with Access Consciousness. She is a certified facilitator. She is a Being You certified facilitator. She is a Talk to the Entity certified facilitator. Chandana is also, her speciality is CPCK, which is Conscious Parents and Conscious Kids. So she and her daughter Isha, they have facilitated so many classes on parenting and the consciousness involved in parenting and children. I hand over to you. I can go on.
Oh, thank you, Lily. Well, we do. Thank you so much for that introduction. And yes, Isha and I do facilitate conscious parents, conscious kids, which is actually a speciality of Access Consciousness. And yeah, I enjoy facilitating Talk to the Entities, 3-day body classes, foundations, of course. And then there's also Joy of Business classes. And in all the facilitation that, that takes place during the classes, there's always an energy that flows into the future from the classes. So it's like if I'm facilitating a Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids class, there's an energy that gets created from that, which kind of flows into maybe a 3-day body class where bodies that have been asking for change have been stuck in maybe something that happened to them as a child or something that happened to them in some past lifetime, and they're not even aware of it because they're buying into those points of views even in this lifetime. So their body is showing up as that. And it's, that kind of goes also into Talk to the Entities. So it's really interesting when I facilitate, say, a 3-day body class, it's not just about bodies. It's really interesting because we cover everything, because there's just so much. It's all just so much in communion with each other. Like, your body and creating money, your body and a business, your body and entities, your body and, your parents, your relationships, your kids, your spouse, and of course, your body and you receiving from you. So when there's this energy of a 3-day body class, it's really interesting because how everything in life, everything that's going on in that moment starts to shift and change almost magically, because everything is connected. It's just the dots that we kind of put together, and you're like, oh, this, and all the dots kind of get connected, and you're like, this is what's going on. Where earlier you probably didn't have the clarity. You were looking at it and being like, why? And you were not even willing to ask a question like, what can I do to change this? What can I be to change this? But when you get the body processes run, your body starts to melt into space. And when it starts to melt into space, there is more clarity with everything that you're choosing. So,
yes,
yeah,
totally. The 3-day body class I've done.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I've taken 4 of them so far. And when you say about melting into space, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And this is where we have the realization and the awareness that everything we do is for the body and through the body. And we have this body from the time we are born till we go away. So, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, Lily. And it's what you're choosing to do and be with your body. Like for the first, I started with Access at the age of 47. I don't know if I've shared this earlier with you, but I had this 47 or 49, whatever that was. Yeah, 47. It was really interesting because my body was in a condition that required help. It was screaming for help. It was like, do something or I'm out. Do something, change. But I couldn't hear it. I just kept looking at it as a problem. I kept looking at it and being the energy of, I have a problem. I have fibromyalgia. And I had a name for it, which was fibromyalgia, that the doctor had given me. So I could understand about it better. So I could read more about it. So I could get why this is happening versus what can I be to change this? The questions, you see, we are always in question. constantly, whether you know it or not, consciously or unconsciously, you are asking questions. Now, if you're constantly asking a question like, why did this happen to me? And why am I going through this? Why isn't this changing? What starts to show up is so much more of it versus, how can I change this? What can I be to change this? And the first question that you really want to ask with something like a pain or a disease in your body is, what is this? You know, like, what is this? If this wasn't fibromyalgia, what is this?
Wow.
Which we don't even ask, because we go home with that point of view that this is fibromyalgia, and then you buy into that, and then you start to create your life and you start to create your body based on that point of view that you have fibromyalgia. Versus, what is this? And then, of course, the four magical questions. What is this? What can I do with this? Change this. And how can I change this?
Wow.
So your asking questions of your body can actually melt, whether it's a disease, whether it's an obesity problem, whether it's a weight issue, whether it's an eating disorder, or something else. I know we are looking at weight and eating disorders in this class, in this call. So yeah, so that's why I brought that energy up. Yeah. And it's just so interesting when you, yes, please. Yeah, eating disorder and weight, right? It's such a situation where you believe that it is a problem, that I do anything but I just can't change my weight. I just can't shift the weight. It's an obesity problem. And then there's so many reasons and justifications why doctors will give you. They'll tell you it's the hormones. They'll tell you you're eating wrong. They'll tell you don't mix carbohydrates and don't mix proteins. And they'll give you so many reasons and justifications that by the end of it, even you are confused as to what your body is really asking for. It's like, hey, what diet does my body want to follow? What diet can contribute to my body? It's like, you keep looking at that. And the one energy that really shifted it for me was, instead of asking what diet would work for my body, I asked body, what food would you like to eat?
That's amazing. There's a question
Hirul
in
has
the
a
chat.
question. Yeah. Yeah. She says, is weight a byproduct of age? Well, if you have that point of view, yes. How many of us started out, like I started out being called Twiggy as a child. Okay. I mean, I was so thin. I was like 45 kilos when I got married. And everyone used to call me Twiggy. And I know the moment I chose to gain weight. And I know the value of that too. It was like, I was desperately trying hard to fit into my in-laws' family, which were some of them were a little on the heavier side. And I wanted to fit in. And people would look at me and they would say, what? You belong to this family? Can't be. You're just so thin. And I so recall that moment, when I was like, oh, to belong to this family, I must change my body. It was like an instant. And, I kept struggling with that. And while not being happy that I'm gaining weight, I was also happy. Yeah, I know. I was also happy that, I'm finally fitting in. Like, we make really strange choices to fit in. And this could be one of them. Like, are you trying to fit in with your friends of a certain age bracket? Are you trying to fit in and look like them? Because if you don't, you would be so different and so wrong. Everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock are 9 shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. With weight, you want to look at weight as an energy that gets consolidated in your body, collected in your body. Your body starts to hold on to all the judgments that you have of food, that you have of your own body, that you have of friends, that you have of clothes that you go to buy, and you're like, oh, I used to fit into small, and now even medium doesn't fit me. I've got to buy a large. And what is that? It's not just an awareness and being like, oh, okay, this is the body size, this is the body shape. There's a wrongness that gets attached to that I should be at least medium, if not small. And in that moment, your body hears the wrongness. And that gets locked into your body. as more of it, as stuff that you struggle with. Because whatever you lock into your body, points of views that you lock into your body, they show up. They show up as, the judgments show up as weight in your body. I'm trying to fit in as a wife and match my husband. Oh, yes, Hirul, that's such a common one. Have you noticed where people say, after a few years of marriage, you start to look like your husband? Right? I mean, I've heard that so much. And
I've
oh
heard
my
that
God, you
in a
start to look
movie.
like you're like,
I heard that in a
right?
movie when
Yeah.
I was just a teenager, and I never saw that when I got married. I never saw.
Yeah. It's so strange. Simply because, we bodies have the biomimetic mimicry, that we have that capacity to mimic other bodies. And the body that we try the most to understand, the most we hate, the most we love, the most we reject, the most we accept, is often the body that we go into mimicking, which is pretty much often your spouse. And it's like if he has a back problem, you will start to have a back problem. If he has a weight issue, you will start to have a weight issue. If he eats a certain style, if he enjoys his roti and chicken and his dal and whatever, and you enjoy your grilled, but you will judge yourself because you'll be like, let's just eat like him so I can just cook for one person. You're always sacrificing your choices. Yeah, oh dear. You're sacrificing your choices so you can be in oneness, which is actually a lie, because that's not oneness. That's a structural cohesion that you're choosing with your body and with your choices. So you can belong. So you can belong to your family, so you can belong to your husband, so you can belong to the society that you live in. What is the way out? BMM? Yep, you can run the BMM process. You can also ask your body to show you, what would it like to eat? Body, what would you like to eat? How much would you like to eat? Just because you put 2 spoonfuls of rice into your plate doesn't mean you have to finish the 2 spoonfuls. It's like if you pull energy from the food that you're eating before you start eating, you will recognize that you eat way less. Why is that? Why is that? That's because when you pull energy from the food, your body is already satiated. It's satisfied. We talk about the humanoid body requiring salt, water, sugar, and energy. So what if you could start to pull energy from food and then ask your body, what would you like to eat? Now, what would you like to eat? How much would you like to eat? And show me when you're done. This is a conversation I have with my body a lot. Just every time before a meal, I literally, and it doesn't mean that I have to be 34, 24, 34. It doesn't mean that I have to weigh a certain number on my weighing scale. It's more that my body is contributing to me because I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to my body and not judging my body for the shape or the size that it is. And when you run the body processes, whether it's a BMM or whether it's, whether it's an MTVSS or whether it's the reactive process, which is so amazing, which is there in, all the new processes that are now in the 3-day body class, whether it's the El Dorado process or there are just so many absolutely magical ones. And when you're running them in a class, because if you're like, say, 10 of you and everyone's running different processes, but even if you're running similar processes, the energy is magnified. The energy is so, and each body process has a different thump. It has a different rhythm to it. And all the body processes together is the rhythm of the earth. But when you're running a body process, you're actually getting more attuned with the earth. So in a body class, what starts to show up is, you're receiving the rhythm of the earth from every process that's been running. And your life, your body is now receiving that and changing and shifting to what it was meant to be, to what it was meant to look like, to what it was meant to be, the capacity of the humanoid bodies that you have, the 9 trannies that you be. These are all capacities of a humanoid body, but how many of you are trying so hard to shift, change, transform your humanoid capacities into a human body so you can be acknowledged and seen as same as everybody else? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and puck, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Just wanted to put that little thing out there. What if, your body had the capacity and has the capacity to change, to evolve into greatness? What if your body has the capacity to evolve into growth? Not age-wise, not the wrinkles and not the sagging skin, but what if your body could truly evolve and show you what evolution is for your body? What if it's different for all our bodies? When I began to get the body processes run and I began to do the 3-day body classes, my body shifted so much after having fibromyalgia for 19 years. Today I don't have anything. I mean, I was able to change it in my body, where the doctors had told me this is unchangeable, this is not heal, you cannot heal fibromyalgia, you have to live with fibromyalgia, where I was told that constantly for over 19 years. I was able to just change it with choice and with the contribution of the bars and the body processes. So I am here a living example of what the body processes can do. Yeah, truly, Lily. It changes so much. It changes so much, not in just and you don't have to come to a 3-day body class because you have a problem, quote unquote. If you're just asking for more ease, if you're just asking to show up more, if you're just wanting to unhide your business or you or your home or your family, what contribution can this be to you?
Beautiful.
Thank you, my love. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
So this term eating disorder doesn't go into my head. What exactly is it? I mean, like people talk about it,
Yeah.
but I really don't know. Like you said about not mixing the carbs and the protein, but I enjoy it. I enjoy
Of course
it.
you do. Your body loves it. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Lily, it's really interesting because your body doesn't need the kind of food that we eat. Your body's really happy with, it's like your body requires a homeopathic dosage of food. If you see how
Wow.
you take homeopathy medicine, it's literally little, little, little. That's the way you eat. That's the way a humanoid body requires food. Because are you eating to
Wow.
fill the space or are you eating to create space? What if you could eat to create space?
I'll do that from now on.
Right, wrong, good, bad, hot, dog, 9 shots, boys, forwards, and beyonds. Yeah. I mean, what if your body could just receive the amount it's asking for instead of you forcing your body every time? I mean, are you eating for your taste buds or are you truly eating for your body? Are you eating to celebrate or are you eating for your body? Celebration is possible without force feeding your body.
Wow.
But in this reality, food is connected to celebration. Food is connected to sadness. Food has almost become a coping mechanism. And how much are you using food to destroy your body instead of create your body? Right,
That's
wrong,
a
good,
great
bad, papa,
question to
online
ask.
shots, models, provides, and beyonds. Yeah, taste buds are never satisfied for me. That, yeah. And it's so interesting because how many hungry people are we eating for? How much, what awareness do you have of the hunger on this planet? And have you decided that hunger is just for food? What if the hunger was for possibilities? What if the hunger was for energy? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, line shots, voice, proverbs, and beyonds. I do have a specialty class. It's called Eating to Create Your Body or Destroy Your Body. It's actually a 30-day class and it changes shitloads for people. And some of them call me and they say, damn, Chandana, I can't eat after your class. I'm like, interesting. You're probably eating what your body is asking you to eat. And that really does, when you run the body processes, you really start to have so much more communion with what your body is asking for versus what you must do for your body. Because, if you're force feeding your body and if you're gaining weight, quote unquote, is that your body communicating with you to stop feeding it so much? But you have defined it as weight gain. And you have defined it as, I have put on weight. You haven't asked a question. That body, what are you showing me with this? Body, what do you want me to know with this? Everything that brought up, would you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, line shot, boys, poets, and beyond. And by the way, Lily, your shirt is beautiful, and so is your neck piece.
Thank you. It's a long dress.
I love the color.
It's a
Oh,
shirt
it's
dress. I
beautiful.
love it.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. It's just
Yeah,
for this
it's
weather.
lovely.
It's a cotton one. Thank you. Thank you. Your eyes are beautiful.
Lovely. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank
This
you.
is a term I learned over here in this world that I live in. It's like whenever I praise someone, they say, "Oh, your eyes are beautiful," and that's such a beautiful way of acknowledging as well.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, it is beautiful. I'm going to use it. I love it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
amazing. So do we have any more questions or are we good? Okay.
So do you
So
do
just
you
wanted to
all
share
know
with
that
all of you.
Chandana,
Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
and do you know that Chandana's coming here on the next weekend for a 3-day body class, which is on the 16th, 17th, and 18th? And we have also got a Talk to the Entity intermediate class, which is on the 15th. So we have done the Zoom gift calls before for that as well. So yeah, all the videos are uploaded on Chandana's YouTube channel. So you can go there and check it out if you like to. And you can contact me
And we
or
would love
Hira.
you to join us. Yes. Please
Yes.
do join us. I would love to play with bodies and play with what else is possible with the entity world in the UAE. Just asking questions and asking for us to know, be, perceive, receive what is true for each one of us.
Wow.
So thank you all for being here. I really am grateful for each one of you for taking time out and for actually joining us. And
Thank you, Chandana.
I look forward to seeing you all in person. Bye,
Look forward.
darlings.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Look forward. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Hiral. Thank you, everyone. Bye.